to HCN Evening News Bulletin with me, Clinton D'Souza, and here are the top stories. In this special story today, we will show you the reality of what the retailers, the restaurateurs, and other establishments are suffering. Many are on the verge of shutting down their businesses, while some find it even difficult to make up to the license fees paid by them. The owners of some shops and restaurants and others have demanded support from the authorities for their survival as it is getting difficult day by day. Watch this full story.
कोविड लॉकडाऊन कितलो तुमकां इफेक्ट जाला या बिझनेसान?
लॉकडाऊनान ह्या खूपच इफेक्ट झाला. एक मार्केट म्हणजे मेनली कस्टमर जे आसा आमचे हॉटेल्स आसल्या कारणान हांगा कितें हॉटेलां बंद आसा, हॉटेलां उगडूंक मेळना. फक्त टेक अवे जाल्या त्या कारणान आमचो अवलंबून आसा की तांचेर चड अवलंबून आसा हॉटेलाचेर. आनी ट्युरिजम इज अ मेन इंडस्ट्री. ट्युरिजम टोटली कॉलेप्स जाला, कोणाक येवंक मेळना. तर त्या खातीर बिझनसाक खूब इफेक्ट जाला. अशें बाजारान अशें आसा की बाजारान थोडीं दुकानां हार्डली आतां हे 15 म्हयन्यान फक्त थोडीं दुकानां 6 म्हयने ओपन उरलीं. ती केपें ती नॉन एसेन्शियलान पडटा आनी त्या लोकांक खूबच त्रास जाला. थोड्या लोकांनी बंद सुद्दां केल्लें आसा. थोड्यांनी जी कमी भाडेपट्टी कोणाची थोडी शॉपां आसलीं भायर मार्केटा भायर, तांच्यांनी ती सोडून दिल्ली आसा कित्याक तांकां अनअफोर्डेबल जाल्लें आसा भाडें पे करपाक. आनी तशें ताच्या भायर लोकांचो माल खूब डॅमेज जाल्लो आसा. माल जो कितें आसा कडधान्य कितें आसा, कडधान्य म्हणटा ते एक 15-20 दिसांची थोड्यांक एक्सपायरी आसता. आनी लायक मैदो किंवा आनी कितें म्हणटा ते ताका रोखडी कीट पडटा आनी भितून खूब आर्थीक नुकसान जाल्लें आसा. आनी हाचेर आनी स्पेशली हे वेंडर्स जे आसा बारीक लोक जे 400-500 रुपयाचो व्यापार हाडून दिसाक जी आपली पोटाची खळगी भरपाक त्रास घेताले तांचो जाल्यार बिझनस टोटली टप्प जाल्लो आसा.
आतां तिसरी येवपाची आसा, केन्ना येत आनी कितें जाय सांगूं नजो. पण एक गोश्ट अशी आसता, हे पॅन्डेमिकान आनी ह्या महामारीन आर्थीक दृश्ट्या जे वेपारी आसले ते सामके कामकुवत जाले. कामकुवत कशे जाले, जो धंदो करताले कित्याक सिजनल वेपार किंवा आनी कितें आसलें तो तेंचो सामको कॉलेप्स जालो. आज जर मार्केटान जर परिस्थिती आसा जाल्यार मार्केटान आतां 2-2:30 मार्केट बंद जाता. एक्चुअल तो लोकांचो जेवपाचो टायम, त्या टायमार कोण मार्केटान चड येना आनी गर्दी कोण येना. आतां दिश्टी पडले जर कितें आसा कितें आतां सिजनल बिजनस, आतां सद्या रेनी सिजन आहा, सरकारान एक मुभा दिली की तुमी थोडे मातशे दुकानां उक्ती करची. त्या खातीर आतां सद्या मार्केटान चड न्ही पण कमी लोक गोंयटात. पण सगळ्यांकूच वेपार जाता असो ना. कितें जे गरजूवंत कितें वेपार आसा तोच चलता, बाकीच्या वेपाराक खूब लुकसाण जाल्लें आसा. आनी त्या लुकसाणान वेपारी सामको थकलोच आसा. आतां प्रत्येक संघटना किंवा प्रत्येक हे सरकारा कडेन आर्थीक मदत मागता. जर हेतून सगळ्यांना त्रास कोणाक जाता तर सामान्य वेपारी जे थोडो धंदो करतात, जर तेंच्या कडेन व्हडलें उत्पन्न ना किंवा तेंचे व्हडले सोर्सीस ना, घरान कोण सर्वीस करणारो ना, सरकारी कसली नोकरी ना आनी ह्या धंद्यार ते डिपेंड आसा आनी हो जर धंदो जर कामकुवत जालो जाल्यार घर चलोवपाक कितकें मुश्कील जाता तो प्रत्येक वेपारी किंवा प्रत्येक नागरीक हो जाणा आसा.
फुडल्या हाका आमकां माल दुकानार घालचो म्हटल्यार सुद्दां आमकां अशी बिकट परिस्थिती येयली की आमच्या बोल्सान तो पसून परचेज करपाक सुद्दां इतको पयसो ना जाल्लो आसा. गेली 2 वर्सां आमची सामकी पाड गेली. म्हटल्यार सगळे सिजन पिड्ड्यार जालो, लग्नाचे हे आसले ते सिजन पिड्ड्यार जालो. सगळो माल तो आसा तो तसो उरलेलो आसा, तेजी उडाडाल जावंक ना, म्हणजे टर्नओवर जावंक ना. तेन्ना आर्थीक इश्टे आमी सामके बरबाद जाल्लेले आसा.
सलून अँड स्पाज टू बी क्लोज. आता सलून अँड स्पा जे म्हणले इट इज अ लेडीज सलून, कित्याक तांकां जो लायसन्स जो दिता म्युन्सिपालिटी इट इज कॉल्ड सलून अँड स्पा लायसन्स. आता तातूंत आमचे हेअर कटिंग सलून आहा पळय इट इज नॉट काउंटेड. आमचे हेअर कटिंग सलून जे आहा पळय जेंट्स हेअर कटिंग सलून दॅट इज द लायसन्स गिवन फॉर द जेंट्स हेअर कटिंग सलून. आता जेन्ना ही कॅटेगरी जेन्ना आहा सो आमचे आतां सलूनां बंद जावपाक जायना आसली. पूण तरी पूण आमच्या सलूनवाल्यांनी कित्याक चालू दवरलेली थोडी पुलीस येयले म्हणटा पुलिसांनी दांडे मारले म्हणाले बंद कर आनी ते सगळें बंद करूंक सोडले. आतां ओके बंद केले न्ही जालें, गव्हर्मेंटाचें आमी आयकले. आतां तांणी पयलें सांगलें 15 दीस, मागीर म्हणाले 1 म्हयनो, मागीर आनीक कितें आनी ते चालू उरलां. ते हे म्हणजे लॉकडावन बंद जायना चालू उरला तातूंत थोडे जे आहाय पळय व्हडली बिझनस कितें आहाय पळय ती चालू आहाय तांकां ते टायमींग दिला फ्रॉम 7 to 3 कितें टायमींग दिला त्या टायमाचेर ती चलताय पूण आमचे असले बारीक बिझनसमॅन लायक सलून ओनर्स गाडेकार आनी कोण कोण बारीक बिझनसां करताय पळय तांकां कितें
Did you know that marine life in Goa and across the world is in danger due to our actions? Speaking to some of the experts in this story, we realized that we need to begin to see what we do with the sea and what we feed the sea and leave in the sea, due to which the marine life is affected. Ghost nets, LED fishing nets, garbage, waste release in the seas are the key factors affecting the marine life. Watch this special story on what's inside the marine life and what's killing the marine life.
So 4 years later, yes, the data looks, to be honest, a little depressing, but I don't think it is like, it's a dark tunnel out there. The reasons for pollution could be any, if you look at purely from a marine stranding perspective, we have got animals that are turtles that have got stuck in ghost nets. We've got turtles that have been injured with propeller injuries. We've got instances of dolphins and porpoises being hurt by propellers or again stuck in nets. So we cannot attribute it to a single cause to say, yes, this is the specific reason why it's happening. It's multifarious. Yeah. In fact, yesterday evening when I was watching this webinar that was being conducted, what was also very interesting and really made my hair rise was that most of the stranded animals are actually immune to antibiotics. That means the runoff that is happening on our coastal waters, be it, of course, man-made waste, in whichever matter it is, is also affecting how marine mammals are responding, to this, pollution that is happening. But I can't attribute to one single reason. This for experts in the domains to actually answer. But yes, the constant erosions up inland rivers, the mining that's happening there, the runoffs that happen from there, the change in the riverine systems, the dams and the fluid gauge systems that are being converted and modified, all add up. Whether they are the sole cause, one can't say.
What we need to understand is that there are various reasons why these strandings happen. And as was discussed in the in the panel that we had yesterday with the experts there could be various reasons that also don't have to originate in Goa. So, for example, you could have, it depends on the decomposition state of the marine animal. In fact, Pooja Mitra, who is the head of Terra Conscious, she mentioned yesterday that there are many times when very decomposed bodies are washing up. This could also mean that the deceased happened somewhere else. It's not necessarily Goa. What I would say is, yes, Goa is a very vulnerable ecology because it's a coastal zone. The beaches are very, very sensitive, and we all have to be very careful as to what we're allowing to go into the waters. Because as our lifesavers are there, they are working with the stranding network. They are also clocking the changes that are happening on the beach. So, for example, there is foam sometimes that washes up on the shore. Sometimes there is oil that we see coming on the shore. Everyone notices the tar balls that are coming onto the shore, right? These are all, they're coming from somewhere. And I think it's important for us to realize that, the amount of garbage recently, for example, at the moment, it's gone viral within Goa. There's a ton of garbage being found across. And this is sad to note because it may not be the direct cause of death of these stranded animals, but it is definitely going to create a health hazard for marine animals. So one cannot say that it's completely unrelated. There's no possibility. It's like us living in polluted air. We're breathing the oxygen, right? So we see in the north how Delhi is breathing bad oxygen because of the pollution there. So it has to happen that if the water is not clean, the marine life will be affected. Whereas directly connecting right now the strandings to death due to this, it's not for anyone to say right now. We are only in a good place today. This is the only such network in India.
Switzerland knocking France out on penalties to reach quarterfinals. Switzerland defeated world champions France 5-4 on penalties in the last 16 of Euro 2020 on Monday. This result was not expected by the football fans across the world, but the results of the penalty shootouts turned in favor of Switzerland, which weren't expected by many. Some of the footballers and fans also reacted to this, and this match results. Watch.
What do you feel on the Team France performance last night?
It was a very exciting match, and both the teams fought very well. And at the last, the best team won. So in football, anything can happen.
France, being one of the best team in the league, has lost to Switzerland. What do you have to say?
For me, it's like a surprise team, Switzerland, because they have played very good till now, and they have defeated one of the best teams in the world. And I think they will go further on in this competition. And about France, they did whatever they can, but they could have done better. But it's football, anything can happen in it.
Which is your favorite team in this league?
My favorite team, unfortunately, is out of the competition. It was Portugal, but no matter what, I'm a Portugal fan.
Your opinion on the leagues happening under COVID shadow?
I would say the organization has worked very well on this situation, because it's not easy to do such a competition under these circumstances. So I feel it is a very good thing that they have done.
Oh, I think France definitely won out of their best last night. I think this was forced by a few injuries that they had, so they had to change the formation to play 3 defenders at the back. And this, I think, was not their best formation, so they struggled a bit, and definitely not their best performance. And ultimately, it cost them. Everyone loves an underdog story, so Switzerland beating France is great for the tournament, great for the neutral, of course, not great for French fans, but otherwise it's great to see. It was a cracker of a game. Switzerland coming back from 3-1 down and showed so much heart and spirit despite missing that penalty. So it was a great game to watch. For me, I was in fact supporting Portugal. That was the team that I was supporting. Unfortunately, they lost to Belgium and they are out of the tournament. So now my favorite team is England and Denmark. Denmark, because I love an underdog story as well. So if Denmark make it all the way, I'll be really happy, especially after what happened to Eriksen. So that'll be a great story. I think they have a great team as well. Very underrated, so I think they can do it. And of course England, because I love Jordan Henderson. He's my favorite player. So England and Denmark. And the tournament being played under COVID, the shadow of COVID, I think in fact it's good to see fans at the stadium. It's an absolutely great feeling to see packed stadiums, because of course there are, in some places in Europe, the restrictions have reduced, so that's great to see. Hopefully we can have this here in India too for the upcoming ISL if things improve, and if not in the future as well, things are going to improve and we're going to have packed stadiums back again. And that's what footballers love to see, a packed stadium, and that's what you play football for.
France's performance was better as a team. Defending and attacking was like unit. But in mid-zone, space was created by the opponent. France, as per the players list, players are more experienced than Switzerland. But fighting spirit and counter-attack by Switzerland made it difficult for France. My favorite team is Belgium. Football has to take place. Life has to continue. Looking at the fan for the Europe, it does not look like a pandemic is going on. It is a good for the team and players to have the supporters with them, and it is also an encouragement for the players.
The traditional São Pedro Fest, which is a feast of Saint Peter and the patron saint of fisherfolks in Goa, has been celebrated in the port town of Vasco on Tuesday amidst traditional pomp at Kaiti. The fishing community members at Karivada non-com Pishe Dongri decorated fishing canoes and colorful balloons, coconut palms, flowers, and other decorative items at the jetties at Karivada, the Arabian Sea, as a part of their annual tradition. Take a look. While on Tuesday morning, a fatal accident was reported near the military camp at Ravanphone in Markham. The driver of a car lost his control, wherein he rammed into the vehicles parked along the roadside. In this incident, the driver died on the spot. Watch.
स्पिडीन येयल तो मागीर थिंगा एक मुखार ब्रेकर आसा तो ताका कितें जालां खबर ना थिंगा आबूज जाला सारकें येवन थिंगा रिक्षाक पार्किंग आसलें सामकें फास्ट येतात म्हळ्यार आमच्या त्या शॉपा मुखार आमची गाडी आसलेली एविटस आनी सामकें येवन ते लायटींग काम मारला लायटींग कामां मारून मागीर ते सीट मारता स्वस्तीक सीट मारता आनी थिंग भितर घाली आनी सामकें ड्रायव्हर
कितले जाण आशिल्ले गाडयेन कितले जाण आशिल्ले
4 जाण आसले ड्रायव्हरा मार लागला ड्रायव्हर काबूज
फॅमिली आशिल्ली
आसलेलो ताका मातशें मार लागला एक बायल आसलें आनी एक आसलेलो 40 years आसलो ताका मातशें मायनर मार लागला कित्याक म्हाजें शॉप आहा तुगे गाडी काबार म्हाजी गाडी काबार जालो हांवें पार्किंग केलें घरा मुखार आसलेलें
स्पीड ब्रेकराची जंप जाली आसतली
कितें म्हणटा ते स्पीड ब्रेकर जंप जाला आनी तो फास्ट आसलेलो कमी कमी 100 मागीर चडच स्पीड आसलेलो ते कंट्रोल जालो ना थिंगा रिक्षा पार्किंग आसलेलो न्हू ताका आपयलो मागीर सामकें येवन थिंगा लायट काम आसलेली लायट कामाक मारली मागीर लोकांक एक सीट मारता स्वस्तीक सीट मार ताका मारून मागीर ते आमच्या गाडयेन घातलेली रिक्षा आपल्यान आमच्या गाडी हाडून कामी
गाडोय आशिल्लो दिसता
गाडा आसलेलो एक भाजी गाडा ते काबार घेवन अजून आसा ते गाडी मुखार आसा 5 गाडी काबार
आणि टू व्हीलर कितले डॅमेज जाल्या
2 व्हीलर 5 गाडी काबार जाल्या
आणि रिक्षा
एक पॅसेंजर
आणि गाडो एक
Well, that's all we have in our today's news bulletin. For more news and updates, please do subscribe to our YouTube channel at HCN Goa, or for much more alerts, stay alerted on our Twitter and Facebook handle at O Herald Goa. Until then, take care and stay safe.